Hey, Emoji C, welcome to the show. Today, going to start with a little bit of an aloha spirit with an aloha pasta salad. Think you'll like that one. Then a macadamia nut pie. Yes, yes, yes. Macadamia nut pie. Aloha. Zip down to LA for an appearance on KTLA, one of my favorite shows from the old days. Then I'll come back and tell you what's coming next. Spread love. Enjoy the show.
For Aloha pasta salad, the ingredients are 8 to 12 ounces your favorite pasta noodles cooked, 4 ounces snow peas, 2 big broccoli tops, steam both vegetables about 4 minutes, 1/2 fresh pineapple diced, 1 Vidalia onion diced, 2 celery stalks diced, 1 can white tuna, 4 to 6 ounces naturally fresh vinaigrette dressing. How about another easy salad? We're going to use pasta this time as our main ingredient. That sounds like the name of a musical group, doesn't it? I'm using the spiral noodles, but you can use any type you like. The angel hair, the fettuccine, whichever noodle is fine. But remember, when cooking pasta, the fresh pasta noodles only take about 3 minutes. Bring that water to a boil and add your noodles. About 3 minutes, okay? Now for the dry noodles, bring the water to a boil, add the noodles, let it cook for about 14 minutes. Okay, add about a tablespoon or so of olive oil to that. It keeps the noodles from sticking, and it also adds a nice little flavor. Now, to our cooked noodles, we're going to add first steamed snow peas. You can find these at just about any market nowadays. And I've cooked the snow peas and broccolis next. I've cooked them for about 4 minutes, 2 to 4 minutes. What that does is it makes the vegetable absorb the other flavors a lot easier once they've been cooked. But don't overcook them because, of course, raw vegetables are much more nutritious. And these are loaded with vitamins A, B, and also vitamin C. I think you'll love those. Next thing we're going to add is fresh diced pineapple. And I always use fresh pineapple for those same rules. Plus, I just absolutely love fresh pineapple. I had the fortune of being in Hawaii for a couple of weeks, and the Hawaiians do some incredible things with pineapple. Now we're going to add, the recipe called for Vidalia. I'm a Georgian, of course, so I use the Vidalia onion. But if you're from California or Washington State, you may want to use the Walla Walla. You Texans are going to love the Texas sweet. And, of course, the Hawaiians are going to love that, what they call the Kula onion or the Maui sweet. You just want to add those in. Okay, and take your time. You don't have to scrape the bowl as hard as I do. Next thing, we're going to add the celery. And I think I gave you tips on selecting celery in that first salad recipe. Now we're going to add another main or key ingredient, I should say, is the white tuna. Almost that main ingredient again. I guess I'll have to sing a song as I cook today. Okay, might want to add a little more tuna to that one. Now, of course, toss this. You want to get everything mixed up well. You want to let that pineapple juice just kind of melt through. I call this salad my aloha pasta salad. I made this for my friends when I went out to Hawaii to visit. I think they enjoyed it. They'd never heard of tossing pineapple. And we're going to use a little vinaigrette dressing on this one. Okay, about 4 ounces, or a little more if you'd like. And, of course, you want to toss that. Now, this salad can be served warm or chilled and served then. I think you will absolutely love this salad. So give this a try for me, okay? And again, I'll say it. Enjoy. For macadamia pie, ingredients are 3 eggs, 1 cup light corn syrup, 2/3 cup sugar, 1/4 cup melted margarine or butter, 4 tablespoons dark rum, 1 tablespoon vanilla, 1 cup chopped macadamia nuts, and 1 homemade pie crust. Now that we can make Mom's pastry dough, let's make some pies, starting with macadamia nut pie. Beat together 3 eggs, a cup of corn syrup. This is a really sweet pie, guys, so if you're on a diet like I should be, you don't want to eat macadamia nut pie, because that is the most fattening of all the nuts. But don't be so concerned about the fat in nuts, because they are what's called the bodybuilding fruit. Nuts are a fruit. Next, you want to add your sugar. This pie, by the way, is absolutely wonderful. I guess this is kind of the tropical version of our, down here in the South, our pecan pie. And, of course, I like the pecan pie better, but this will add something special at your holiday table or even in the springtime. Macadamias are available year-round. Next, we want to add our melted margarine. And remember, after each one of these ingredients is added, you want to mix those very, very well, okay? All right. Here comes our secret ingredient. We've got dark rum. Yeah, I guess you could use light rum if you want it, but I like the dark when you bake this up. It gives a nice little golden sheen. Mix that well. And we're going to add our vanilla flavor. About a teaspoon. That looks good to me. Okay. And, of course, mix that well. All right. And where are our macadamia nuts? Here they go. And I've got these chopped up. You can leave them whole or chopped or cut into half, whichever you feel comfortable with. Just add those. Whoops, don't want to drop that in there. Just add those to the mixture and then mix everything in well. Now we've got that homemade pie shell. After everything is blended well, we just want to fold those or kind of just lay it over into your dish. I want to mix those nuts up well. And just pour that right in there. This looks good enough to eat already, you know. Just take a spoon with all that sugar and syrup and have at it. You want to bake this now in a preheated 375-degree oven about 45 minutes or until that custard part sets. And you can tell when that sets just by flipping on your light. And then again, here's that finished macadamia nut pie. I could have a piece of that right now.
Host of the popular Pick of the Day show on the TV Food Network. He is here to share his culinary skills.
Hi,
There's
Mom.
an amazing story about learning how to read. Hi, Mom.
Mom's in Georgia, though. She can't see that.
You know, we're actually seen in Georgia.
Hey,
Many cable
well, let's do
systems.
this then. Which one? That's with the red light, right? I haven't done this in so long. TV, live TV. Hey, live. Ah, okay. I love you, Mom, and you. Oh, before we get started, I got to thank the folks at La Montrose because they hooked me up, Carlos.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a pot. I hadn't have a pot or a pan. I wouldn't dare do that. Barbara left us, dang it.
Yeah.
I want to cook for her. Anyway,
Well, cook for me.
the folks at La Montrose,
like
thank
to
you
eat,
guys
can't you
for
tell?
all this good stuff. Well, you and me both. We can't do Tybo and Marin.
We got it going
on. So we can't get like your sidekick over there all fine and stuff. So what are we talking about? I'm gonna
Minute
cook for you.
pasta, right?
In a minute pasta, okay? Most of us Americans or LAans, what is it when you live in LA?
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different things.
Los Angelinos?
Angelinos.
Angelinos? Okay. When you live, most of us have some type of salad dressing in the refrigerator.
Yes.
So this is a recipe. If you're in a hurry, you want to get a meal on the table that's really good and tasty in 15 minutes or less. What I've done is dice some vegetables. I've got onions, yellow pepper, red pepper, and some green onions here. So we just dice them up. Any of your favorite vegetable. You can add zucchini or the tomato, which nowadays is coming from Otay, a little bit south of San Diego. A lot. Otay Mesa. You know it. Me too, baby. So anyway, what we've done is dice those up. I've got a little bit of oil in the pan, Carlos, and we're just going to drop that in the pan, okay? Now let that saute 3 minutes or more. Or less, you know.
I thought this was 1 minute
well, I call it in a minute, just
minute,
you know,
just,
to catch the eye of everybody.
Gotcha. Okay.
So while we're chatting about the reading program, we'll let this cook for a little bit. One of the great things about cooking meat-free, which I do, is that you don't have to worry about undercooking your food. Okay, you can have the vegetables nice and exactly. You can eat them raw or a little al dente. Just a minute or two to heat them up nicely. That's what we want to do here.
Okay, you just said al dente, and there's a lot of phrases, and there's cookbooks. There's a lot of words that you don't know.
Exactly.
And sometimes I feel illiterate when I read this. Now, this is an amazing story. Up until age 26, you managed to fake your way through life, not knowing how to read.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Ooh, man, I get tingles when we talk about that even to this day. I mean, I am probably the most blessed guy you're going to meet, Carlos, and God is where it comes from for me. I'm not like Mr. Bible Thumper, but I do know where it's at. And for 26 years, I mean, I graduated from high school. I went to Southern University in Louisiana, then transferred to the University of Georgia, and I couldn't read. But
you answered like essay questions,
Yeah.
and you scribbled, and they'd make you orally answer the questions. That's how you got around.
I mean, my personality, at an early age, I knew I had two things going for me: a good personality, and I could remember stuff. And I used those things. I mean, I made friends real easily. And nowadays, when I talk to kids, one of the things I tell kids, whether it's in the inner city or out in the country where I grew up, is that when you get more flies with honey. You know, if someone likes you, they'll help you. So kids who are watching us this morning, or parents, talk to those kids. Let them know a good guy can go a long way. Now, once you learn to read, I mean, I'm telling you, my whole life has changed. And that's what we're here about today is the incredible reading rally, which starts March 1, runs through the 14th. And we're raising money for LVA. If you read a book, oh, you the man. Y'all the people in L.A., I'm telling you. The incredible reading rally. And, oh, that's my website. We've got information about it. Or you can LVA has a website as well. Download their information from there. But what we're doing is getting people to pledge to read books and get money for the amount of books they read, and that money goes to help LVA.
Oh, okay.
And it takes $100 to teach a grown-up like me who couldn't read to read. $100. And one of the things I tell people when I'm talking about helping reading programs is when you teach someone to read, Carlos, you not only, change their life, you save their lives. And my two tutors, Steve and Jenny, I mean, they took this guy who was about to fall through the cracks, and become one of those down and out of the downtrodden. And now, man, I pay too many taxes, you know what I'm saying? So I feel very strongly that in this country, and I try to do this as much as I can, is that those of us Americans, I mean, this is the one problem I feel very strongly that we can unite around, whether we're black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. Illiteracy, I mean, it doesn't care if you're black or white or rich or poor. If you can't read, you're in trouble,
But
man.
I'll tell you what, Curtis, there are a lot of people who don't have the courage to say, look, I can't read.
Right.
They're still faking their way through life,
Exactly.
and it's dangerous, and really, don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed of not being able to read.
That is our message. Now, we're going to wrap this up. Folks, try to get some information from the Incredible Reading
Let's
Rally.
get to it.
We're
Okay.
going to add our pasta. Now,
All right, can I do
don't
that?
look at that pasta, because Wolfgang is watching. He's going to say, Curtis, what'd you do to that pasta? So, no close-ups on the pasta, please. What we're going to do here is toss our pasta in, add our favorite salad dressing. If you like a little vinaigrette type, we're going to add a bit of that, or a creamy type of dressing. Now, we'll toss that over, Carlos, I'm sorry. And
I
we
can
are
be
ready
Italian
to go.
today. That's
You'll
okay.
be Italian today? Hey, come on,
Because I'm cooking at the pasta.
You're the man,
I can be
okay?
Italian. Carlos, okay.
Let's plate this up. And on the way out, I want to remind everyone, LVA, Literacy Volunteers of America, are teaching a lot of people to read. And there's some great literacy programs right here in L.A., the L.A. Literacy Coalition. So please teach somebody to read, okay?
Curtis Aikens, thank you so much.
Here, high five. On my TV show, Pick a Day, we do 8 hugs a day.
Oh, I like
Gotta
that.
get them, gotta give them. Peace and love.
All right, we'll be right back with more in just a moment. Ow! Ooh, that's okay.
Are you enjoying today's Curtis Aikens Show? I'm sure I'm having fun watching it. Coming up, I've got an apple pie, Mama's Easy apple pie, peach pie, a pumpkin pie. Then we're going to wrap the show up with 2 quick things, a butter bean and tuna salad. Country boy comes out, and I got a little clip about some peach information. Have a great, great day. Spread love, y'all.
For easy apple pie, ingredients are 3 of 4 apples, peeled, cored, and sliced, 1 cup sugar, 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg, 1 teaspoon vanilla, half a stick margarine or butter, 1 homemade pie crust. How about America's favorite, apple pie? But I've got a nice, easy version for you. But before we make the pie, let's give you some apple tips. Now, everyone knows that the Red Delicious is the king as far as sales and popularity. But I want to tell you what's the best tasting apple, or at least in my opinion, and I think you'll agree with me once you try it. It's called the Fuji apple. It's a Japanese apple, but it's being grown out on the West Coast now, up in Oregon and Northern California. This apple has a beautiful golden flesh. I want to cut one for you so you can see it. Then I'm going to give you some tips on buying apples. Take a look at that flesh. You can almost see the sweetness in that apple. I absolutely love this Fuji apple. I'm sure you will too after you give it a try. Now, when buying apples, one of the incredible things about apples is that nowadays they're storing them in CA storage after the picking season is over. And the apple is fine. They almost put them to sleep. But to make sure an apple is fresh, just look at the stem of it. Like this stem is nice and green. It still has green in it. That lets you know an apple is fresh. It's just been picked this season. So you kind of know when your apples are coming. Now for this easy apple pie, to our cut apples, we're going to add sugar, vanilla flavoring, and nutmeg. One of the things about spices, nutmeg, you can also add cinnamon to this. In my opinion, you cannot over-season apple pie. And just toss that up well. Make sure those apples get all that sugar on them and they're nice and coating. Then just pour it into your pie shell. Make sure you get all that sugar and mix those around in the pie shell. And you don't want to make a jealous pie, so you got to make sure you put enough apples in there. Mine may be a little jealous today, so, okay. Now, the key thing Mom always tells me when making pies, especially apple pie, is the margarine. I want to make sure you add enough margarine so that those apples will cook up well. Push this out for I don't want to get in trouble with my cameraman if I pull my pie too close to me. Okay, you've got that melted butter right over that pie, and then we're going to add our top to it, our top crust. In the opening, you saw my lattice top. I had Mom make that one for you, but I'm just using an old-fashioned covered pie here. And you want to stretch that pastry dough over that entire pie plate. Okay. Then take your knife and just cut the edges. But you can do that at home, I'm sure. And then make sure, whoops, I'm going to get that apple sneaking out of there. And make sure you, little holes in the top so your pie doesn't explode on you. I think you're going to love this simple pie. Bake it in a preheated 375-degree oven about an hour. I think you're going to love Mama's Easy apple pie.
Peaches. I'm Curtis Aikens, having fun. Remember, every show I've done, we've had a hug. Do you want the hug now or later? What do you guys think? Let's do it now. Here we go. Thank you for that big old hug. 8 hugs a day. Now, pick of the day, peaches. I'm going to make Mama's peach cobbler. I think I said peach pie over there, but I want to explain the difference between a pie and a cobbler. I have a beautiful one here. This looks very much like a pie, right? However, it's a cobbler because the definition of a cobbler is a without a bottom crust. So we just have a top crust. That is just gorgeous. And some of the things that you can serve this beautiful cobbler with, we've got some cream and some peach jam there. Also some peach ice cream. All these things are wonderful. And a peach puree. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But you know what? I put the cobbler before the oven, so let's go back and make this thing. First, I want to show you my apron. You guys like my apron here? This is my mushroom apron. This is from Chef's Wear out of Chicago. And I got a secret to tell you guys. We're going to be making some Curtis Aikens aprons, and we're going to show them right here on the show very soon. Because you don't see me wear very many aprons because I haven't been able to find the big ones, but we're making some for us big folks and let you guys know how to get them too a little later on. Let's make this wonderful, wonderful cobbler. This is Mama's cobbler, and y'all, if you've been watching, you know who Mama is, Laura Bell. That's for you, Mama. Take care of them boys for me down there. This cobbler is one she used to make when I was a kid. In the summer, I mean, especially in the summertime, we had a big peach tree at my grandmama's house, so we'd get a lot of peaches, and Mom would put peaches away, and then she'd make cobblers, or the same recipe, guys. Once you get this recipe down, you can substitute apricots or apples or berries and make this same recipe. We're going to start out here. I've got my nice little baking dish, and you don't have to worry about oil in this because we're going to add something to it. We're going to add the butter to it a little later. Peaches. Now, Mom always peeled her peaches. She just simply take and peel them with a nice little paring knife like that. But a little later on, I got a tip for you. I'm not going to let you know what that tip is, but guess what it's going to be about, huh? Anyway, we just peel the peaches like this. I think we got like 5 or 6 peaches. You can put as many as you want in there. You can really overload that bad boy with peaches. You can also make this cobbler with unpeeled peaches if you'd like. But remember, and if you remember back in the summer, we're having trouble with the strawberries. And remember, with fresh fruits, I want you to wash that really good when you get it home. You can use a lemon bath, a solution with fresh lemon juice and water, and wash those, or warm water. We do a really good job in cleaning your produce item. Let's go ahead and finish peeling this peach, and we'll add it with the others into our pan. This should be a Freestone peach, and we talked about that a little earlier. Let's go ahead and cut it into 2 pieces. And I've got some already cut up here, so we can get right to that. Yeah, that's a nice Freestone peach. We're going to add our peaches. Whoa, Curtis, your finger, you're slipping there, big boy. We add our peaches to our pie plate here. All of our peaches. Aren't those gorgeous? And one wants to get away. There's my peach in a bag with the tomato. Let's put it on the counter to ripen up for us for later in the week. We've got our peaches in. We're going to sprinkle the sugar all around. Get you some granulated sugar. And you know how much I love the sugar, the dark sugar from Hawaii, the brown sugar. So if you've got some of that around, go ahead and use that. Our friends out in Maui and Oahu that have that wonderful C&H sugar available, go ahead and use that. I'm going to hold it off a little bit for now. I'm going to sprinkle in a bit of flour, just a bit. This helps to thicken those juices of that cobbler up. This really makes a nice, almost syrupy-like quality in there. Vanilla, as Mom would say, the vanilla is what really makes that pie, vanilla and the butter. So we're going to try to spread the vanilla around as evenly as possible. Then we've got dollops of butter. Butter makes the pie better, okay? So we're going to put dollops of butter in there. And we keep this chilled nicely to bring it out because we've got those nice little dollops. Okay? Sprinkle that all around. And the butter will melt in nicely with the pie, and just go ahead and spread that evenly. Now, I'm going to sprinkle the rest of my sugar here. we're getting ready to place our crust. Let me show you the ingredients to make this pie crust, okay? Get all that sugar in there, okay? Look at here. It's just 3 items, 3 ingredients here. We've got flour and a utensil. We've got a mixing bowl and what's called the dough knife, where you just cut the butter in. You just add your butter. Add your butter. And you start to cut with your pastry knife. Just cut it in until it starts to form pea-sized shapes. This is really, really easy. Now, after I've grown up and been able to work with some wonderful chefs and pastry chefs, I can use this thing. But growing up in Mom's kitchen, I just use my hand. And just form this into a dough, okay? Roll it, form it in a dough, roll it out, and then you can chill it. And roll it out like we've got this right here, okay? And we're going to cover our dish. One quick tip I want to show you here. I've got some water on the side. But these peaches are wonderful, so you don't really have to add any water to make a juice because the peaches are nice and juicy themselves. But if you have kind of dry peaches, you can add a bit of water there, okay? Now, again, this is a cobbler, so we'll just have a top crust. Get rid of our parchment paper there. And then we're going to place it over the top. And you can do just about anything you want. You can pinch it around the sides, or you can fold it in like that right there. Anything that you really want to do to be creative with your particular cobbler, you can do. All righty? Now, also, be sure, if you pinch it around the sides, to make some ventilation holes like that. And one of the things I like to do, and this sounds terrible, I'm sure, is I'll brush a little bit of butter and sprinkle some sugar on top of that. It really adds a nice little touch to the top of that cobbler. Okay, you know what? We've got one more segment to come up, so let's take a break here and come on back and do some more on Pick of the Day with me, Curtis Aikens.
For pumpkin pie, the ingredients are 2 cups cooked and mashed pumpkin, 1 cup sugar, 1/2 stick margarine, 3 eggs beaten, 1/2 cup buttermilk, 1 tablespoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon nutmeg, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon fresh lemon juice, and 1 deep dish pie crust. Pumpkin pie. Now, most people associate this with the holiday season, but let this greengrocer tell you, pumpkin pie should be enjoyed year-round. If fresh pumpkin is available, simply remove the top and cut your pumpkin into cubes like so. Add a 1/2 cup of water, then boil it until the pumpkin becomes soft, okay? Then mash them up like we have here. Now, to our mashed pumpkin, to our cooked pumpkin, I should say, we'll add a cup of sugar, okay? And remember Mama's rule, the thing that really makes pies is that margarine or butter, whichever you feel comfortable with. Okay, I'm going to add our margarine. You can add just the whole margarine if you like, the whole stick, or 1/2 a stick, I should say, or melt it like I do. I think it's a lot easier to work with like so. And then mix those ingredients well, of course. Now we've got eggs. You want to beat your eggs well before add them to your pumpkin mixture. I just think it works a lot better that way. You could add the whole egg, but whichever way you feel more comfortable. Just do it that way. Okay? Add that egg and then mix it in. My mother does some wonderful things with pies. She has a little buttermilk, and we've got a little secret ingredient coming up towards the end here. We'll get to that, and I'll tell you about it when we get there. But the next thing is the buttermilk. Add that and mix, of course. God, I'm getting hungry just looking at this recipe here. Looks like a nice custard already. Want to add our vanilla flavor. Okay. And our spices. Remember me saying about with the pumpkin pie, with the apple pie, that you can't overspice it with cinnamon or nutmeg or the apple spice. I feel that same way with pumpkin pie. In fact, whatever the recipe calls for, just get a little heavy-handed with it. I think it really spices it up a nice bit there when you add a little more cinnamon or nutmeg. It really makes that pie jump up. Now here comes the secret. My mother always adds lemon juice to her pumpkin pies. And you want to know why? Yeah, I can hear everyone asking right now, why does she add lemon juice? Well, pumpkin is a vegetable. It's a type of squash, in fact. And with that lemon juice really brings those flavors up in the pumpkin. So we're going to add the lemon juice right there. And when that cooks up, it really just brings a lot of flavor out of that squash, out of that pumpkin. I just absolutely love that. And when you add the cinnamon and nutmeg, those spices, this pie just starts to jump. Doesn't that look just a wonderful custard right there? It's just so beautiful. All right, now we've got that homemade pastry dough right here. I might have enough here to make 2 pies. And you want to fold that in. Oh, this looks so good. You can just see the spices in this mixture here. Take your time at home and really mix these ingredients well, because you want to get a nice blend there. And try to get every bit. I could just eat this as it is. Oh, I love my mother's pumpkin pie. Let's move this out of the way. And you want to spread that out. Isn't that just a beautiful pie? And bake that in a preheated 350-degree oven for about an hour. Let's see if I can find that pumpkin pie over here. I feel like cutting this thing and enjoying it right now. Don't forget now, pumpkin pie can be enjoyed year-round. Enjoy. For butterbean tuna salad, the ingredients are 1 pound cooked butter beans, 6-ounce canned tuna, juice of 1 lemon, 1 ounce blend of fresh herbs, chopped, your choice, 8 tablespoons olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, 6 plum tomatoes sliced round. For southern twists and salads, try my favorite, butterbean and tuna salad. To that, we'll add the juice of 1 lemon, a blend of fresh herbs, and I'm using sage, marjoram, and basil. You can use any blend you like. Just make sure you chop those herbs up finely, because when you cut the herbs, if you cut into those stems, that gets all the juices and the strength of that herb out. You want to make sure that comes out in your butterbean tuna salad. You want to make sure you get a good blend there. Our dressing here is simply virgin olive oil. We're just going to add the olive oil and toss it. This salad can be served warm or cold. In fact, when serving, you want to garnish your serving bowl with red ripe plum tomatoes. This dish is wonderful. I prepare this for myself at least twice a week. I think you'll enjoy my butterbean and tuna salad.
Hello, 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 peaches. Ooh, the best are grown in my home state of Georgia. I don't care what nobody tell you. The Georgia peach is what's happening. Now, South Carolina's a great producer of peaches, but this fruit, this wonderful fruit, originated in China. That's right. The only place you can still find wild peaches growing, a wild peach tree. Isn't that wonderful? The peach is a symbol of immortality. In fact, the Chinese have a god of, believe the god of longevity. I think we have a picture. That's the guy. What's up, dude? Long life, long live with the god of longevity. Now, the peach tree itself, it only fruits for about 20 years. So after 20 years or so, from 8 to 20 years is when you actually get fruit from the tree. It's wonderful, wonderful fruit, of course. Down in Georgia, I think our trees seem to go a little longer than that. I love when you see that nice little peach sap coming out of them. Now, this fruit likes to grow in a warm, temperate area, but it needs check this out, 2 months of cold weather to really have the fruit set on the trees. You like that, those little tidbits? Yes, you do. Now, nowadays, as I told you, the Carolinas are big peach producers, as well as Georgia, the finest come from Georgia. But California is also a large producer of fresh peaches on the west side.